the rundown.
Hey everybody, how you doing? We're back. Sorry about that, folks. Having a little bit of I was showing off just before we came on, and sure enough, I messed it all up. But hey, we've got sound now, so we're good.
There we go. Got it. And thanks for coming today.
Thank you for coming. Welcome to the Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. And as you all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Piroworski, coming to you live from the East Coast. That's the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most here on the Rundown. 2A Views, conservative news. Greg, guess what day it is?
Well, not that day. There we go.
Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Who's ready?
It's Throw Punch Thursday, bitch.
That's right. It is Throat Punch Thursday, and we're having a good time today. I am just messing everything up, Mike, but you know what? At least I got my drink poured before the show.
Getting the drinking on. Maybe there's a correlation there, Craig, to why the show's a little messed up. Just
if I had started earlier, then maybe so.
Okay,
but
all right. Okay.
No, I spent most of the day dealing with a plumbing issue. Our hot water heater decided it didn't want to work, and so
gave up the ghost.
It didn't completely give up the ghost, but it wasn't working. And
Right.
Those of you who are married can probably attest to the how pleasurable it is to communicate with your wife when she can't take a hot shower.
Yeah. And it always happens when they're in the shower, never any other time, ever. It won't work. Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a lot of encouragement to make sure it got done before she got home today.
Encouragement's good word. There you go.
Encouragement. That's very politically adept, wasn't it?
Yeah, there you go. You must be running for office. Yep.
There you go. No, I'm running for my life. That's all I'm doing. I'm running for my life, especially when it comes to making sure we have hot water.
Well, that's the life of a married man, right? Running for his life.
That is pretty much the life of a married man. Yeah. It's all good though. I love being married, but yeah, sometimes when things ain't right, it's your responsibility, Mr. Man.
Yeah. Listen, and you don't have to keep reminding us to do it. We'll get around to it every 6 months or so.
Yeah, you don't have to remind us. You don't have to keep reminding us every 6 months.
That's it. We'll do it. Don't worry. I'm on my own timeline, damn it.
It will happen. I know. You know what? You figure after a year of bugging me when it finally gets done, you figure I'd get an attaboy when it's done.
Hey, women, what can you say?
Oh, it just be like that. All right, let's get ready to get into the program. And you guys know how we start it. We always start it with a quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah, Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Talk to the guys over there today. They say hello to everyone. If you want to get yourself some AR barrels, they got rifle caliber, pistol caliber, any length you desire, plus a whole bunch of other barrels for all kinds of rifles and shotguns and pistols. Check them out at hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly, fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. If you want the best in tactical concealed holsters on the market, get on over to Hog Holsters. That's HAWG holsters.com, hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. That's all one word, no spaces, all caps. Get a nice little discount. And if you want the best in field gear, tactical gear, web gear, law enforcement, security, fire, EMS, whatever it may be, they got it. Get your group together, get your agency together, place an order at uscombatgear.com, where you can get everything except the gun.
That's right, folks. These are our sponsors. They help us. They help bring us to you so we can bring you to them. Do us a favor, do them a favor, do yourselves a favor, and give them a call or check them out. Go to their websites. We make it real simple. All you got to do is follow the links in the description of this program. Take you right to their website. I promise you'll see some stuff that you want to spend some money on. Go there, spend some money on them. Make sure you tell them those the guys over at the Rundown that sent you. Also want to encourage you, if you're watching this program, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, you're watching us live on Rumble, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. Go ahead and comment. We would love to hear what you have to say. And in fact, we encourage you to disagree with us because, disagreeing, well, the real benefit to that is that gives us the opportunity to mock you.
Oh, wow. Was that a mockingbird?
Man, is that a mockingbird? Is that a mockingbird?
Yes, sir. Obviously, mocking you is the way in which we entertain ourselves.
Yeah, that's it. Craig, I got to tell you, this week I ran into a friend of mine I hadn't seen in a little while,
Mhm.
and he had his son with him, right? Like 15
Mhm.
years old, right? And all the niceties with the friend and everything, and then the son's like asking me all these questions about the rundown and everything, and telling me about the rundown and this and that and questions, and I'm like, hold on. Why are you watching this? You shouldn't be watching this at 15. This is we say all it's adult show up front. You should really be checking that right number there. So listen, I guess I'm just trying to say we appreciate our 15-year-old fans too, right?
I definitely appreciate the 15-year-old fans. And here's the thing, man. Look, we have some adult humor, and it's not. I mean, as far as adult humor goes, amongst the group of guys that we hang out with, it's more like middle school humor. So,
oh yeah. Well, that's
with adult
absolutely.
Undertones,
Like early middle school humor.
early middle school.
Yeah. And I'm not talking about 9 a.m. I'm talking about like 6th grade.
There you go.
Yeah.
The sort of things, jokes about flatulence, stuff like that there.
And you shouldn't joke about flatulence. That's you getting some trouble that way.
Look, you know what? It's just gas. It's just hot air.
Hey, Greg, pull my finger.
Wait. Hold on. Wait, I can't get over there.
Wait, I gotta get the other studio mic. I gotta get the other studio mic. Hold on.
There you
go. Can't use the same mic for that one. Can't use the same
mic for that one. Okay. Hey, by the way, folks, also want to remind you, coming up on the 21st, that weekend, want to encourage you. Speaking of flatulence, yes, there will be plenty of beans. Beans, the magical fruit. The more you eat, the more you go to the 9th annual 2A Freedom Fest in Summerlin. In Summerfield, Florida. We're going to have a good time. There're going to be 2A advocates coming from all over the country to talk about how to defend your right to keep and bear arms. People who are in the firearms industry, people who do firearms media, people who are lobbying governments, lawyers, you name it. There's going to be people from all different walks of the 2A community there to hang out with. If you want to camp, and this is the cool thing, it's actually a camping event. So you show up on the 20th, you can camp from the 20th to the 22nd, $55. $55, you get to hang out with, once again, some of the best defenders, some of the best minds defending our right to keep and bear arms throughout the country. Mike will be there. I'm going to be there. What else do you need? I mean, between you and I, there's not really anything else you need, but I believe in the last... For the most part, Eric Pratt from Gun Owners of America has been there the last few. I mean, every year I've been there, he's been there.
I mean, just great people. Like Jared Yanis is going to be there. I love hanging with Jared and everybody else, and
from Guns and Gadgets. Yes,
Gina Roberts will be there because it's a gun event, and Gina Roberts goes to every gun event, so we'll see her.
Yes, most definitely. You will see Tom Knighton from Bearing Arms.
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely. Listen, there's probably a dozen people, and I know we're forgetting them, and it's not on purpose, but yeah, absolutely a great event.
It's not, but folks, here's the thing: you only get to take advantage of it if you're there. It is a free event. Just showing up, if you show up just to the event to hear the speakers and hang out with folks, that event on Saturday is 100% free, right? What we do ask you to do though is that they're collecting goods, canned goods for the less fortunate. So if you can, bring a canned good with you.
That's right. I will. Like as Craig said, I'll be there as well, and I'll be camping at the a local 3-star hotel during the evenings. So,
yeah, I don't think they have above a 3-star hotel around there, do they?
They don't have a what? A what?
Above a 3-star hotel near there.
Oh, listen, if it's a 3-star hotel, it's because it's 2 1.5 sitting next to each other.
Two-twoo. Yeah. All right, folks, let's get into today's conversation. And this first one's going to be an interesting one because I think it's more of a confirmation of stuff that you and I already knew. And it has to do with the political divide in this country. And there has been a study, and in this study, they note that, there's been an increase in the political divide within this country. And not only has there been an increase in the political divide, but largely that increase in the political divide has been fueled by one party becoming way more extreme. This study here that can be found over at studyfinds.org says here America's political divide surged 64% between 2008 and 2020, but only one side grew more extreme. Okay, why is it? Oh, here we go. Bam. Okay. It says here arguments at Thanksgiving dinner feel more heated than ever. Your uncle who voted one way can't fathom your cousin who voted another. They're not just disagreeing anymore, they're living in completely different political realities. Now, interesting research reveals this great divide didn't creep up gradually. It surged rapidly, gradually. It surged rapidly during a concentrated 12-year period. Researchers at the University of Cambridge and the London School of Economics analyzed 36 years of American voter data to make this discovery. From 1988 to 2008, political polarization in America, at least measured by the gap between opposing political viewpoints, barely budged. Then, between 2008 and 2020, it rose sharply in a sustained climb, growing more than 12 years. Growing more in those 12 years than the previous 2 decades combined. By 2020, the gap between America's two political camps had widened roughly 64% compared to where it stood in 1988. The research published in Royal Society Open Science doesn't measure whether Democrats and Republicans simply dislike each other more, though that's also happened. It measures something deeper, whether Americans genuinely hold more divergent beliefs about the issues that matter. The answer is yes. The timing raises a pressing question. What's happened during those specific years that pulled Americans apart? Now, Mike, let's talk a little bit about that because I'm sure you have your theories as to what happened during those times.
Well, sure. And I'd also like to dispute the dates on that. I would say that it's more like 2008 to 2024. And there was a 4-year period in the middle there. It made it worse, right? We had 2008 to 2016 under President Obama. And that we know brought down race relations and increased many more social programs and animosity in the country. Then you had somebody come in and try and rescue it, so that created the symptom called TDS, right, which made it worse. And then the third term of Obama under the Biden, Harris administration just made everybody on the right realize how deep, this criminal conspiracy really was. And I'm sorry, that's what I'm going to call it, because every time you take a look at something that the Obama or the Biden administration has done, that's what it comes down to, including the stories yesterday where we talked about, now actual evidence that judges are seeing fit to give warrants on for election, violations. So, just my 2 cents off the top, Craig.
I think what I believe happened was this. I believe that part of the challenge was that President Barack Obama really ran in his rhetoric, not in the policies that he had supported in the past. He ran as a centrist, as someone who was going to bring the country together. And then we saw with his policies, he did anything but. He governed as a left-wing Democrat. And he not only did that, but in the midterms, when Clinton was president, during the midterms, when he tried to push healthcare reform in the very beginning and no one liked it, and he got a rebuke from the mainstream voters and the right, he pivoted and became more of a centrist, right? When the same exact thing happened to Barack Obama, he made a strong shift back, even further towards the left. And when he ran in 2012, he didn't run as a uniter. He ran as someone who was going to he put together a coalition. I call it the grievance coalition. It was the people based on race. It was the LGBTQ. It was the Marxists. It was everybody who had a grievance with anybody. And he developed this coalition that helped him to get reelected. And it didn't hurt that he ran against Mitt Romney. And then in 2016, you had a complete and utter reversal. You had someone who came in and his whole job was to undo Barack Obama, right? That was his thing. He came in and he became the anti-Barack Obama and did a really good job of it. Now, he was someone who was fiery with a lot of rhetoric and you know, he was prone at times to hyperbole but he didn't care. His whole thing was, I'm going to do what's best for America. And the left, in particular because he was anti-Obama, hated him. And that was the birth of Trump derangement syndrome. And so in 2020, when Democrats basically stole the election, whether you believe they did it at the ballot box or you believe they did it through the media and by changing the laws in voting across the country, they stole that election, right? They changed the rules completely. They think the reports were something like 90% of the stories in the media were negative about Donald Trump. 90% of the stories about him were negative, 10% positive. And it was a complete and utter reversal about Joe Biden. And Joe Biden, once again, ran as someone who's going to be the adult in the room and bring people together. And then he did the exact opposite. I would take that back because he did become the adult in the room. He was the old man adult in the room who could barely knew where he was. He wasn't just the man, he was the old man in the room. And now you have Donald Trump. Now you have Donald Trump back. And I just think that those are the things that really fed into the change. But it wasn't what's interesting though about this other thing, Mike, and I wanted to point this out. The study also found that once again, one party stayed pretty much the same, stayed steady, but the other side moved. And this is what they say. As America polarized, it became more liberal overall. The left-leaning group shifted substantially further left between 1988 and 2024. The right-leaning group moved slightly rightward, but the shift was statistically small, barely noticeable compared to the left's movement. This contradicts the common story that both sides are becoming extreme, at least on the issue studied. One group moved significantly while the other held relatively steady. The polarization came from that growing gap, not from the two groups racing towards opposite extremes. And I think this is why you have the result of guys like Elon Musk, guys like Joe Rogan. Why you're seeing so many people who were loyal Democrats, loyal liberals, defending Republicans and defending Donald Trump.
Well, you're making a point, and we may not even realize you're doing it. You know, the difference between a Bill Clinton and an Obama. Obviously, Obama did and I'm sorry, he did created more race division in this country. And you know that being the difference between the two of them. But remember, during
by the way, you don't have to be sorry about that. You have to be sorry for saying it because he did.
Yeah, no, I'm just you know, I'm not sorry for saying it. I'm just you know, that's just you didn't mention it. Then so sorry that you didn't mention it. I guess I don't know. But remember the thing that we're missing here. The difference besides that, the big difference between the two of them is during Obama's terms, we had basically the growth and creation of modern day social media. You know, that's when we started with you know, YouTube and Twitter and everything else, and that's where you give credit to, you know, Joe Rogan and Elon Musk, because once he had the social media out there, Obama was able to latch onto those fringe groups, those ones that had no bearing at all. You know, the LBGTs, you know, and all that kind of stuff that was not getting any, you know, national visibility. So once they come on and those little voices became big voices because of social media, that further divided the parties.
Right. And here's the thing, and I think part of the other thing is more and more, and once again, working in media, I deal with media on both sides, from the right and the left, and I can tell you right now, there are literally two different stories that are being told about what is going on in America today. And I can tell you right now, the left is lying. They are just flat out lying. And you know, I'm not saying that we don't have some media folks on our side who are kind of egging the pudding a little bit on the right, but it's not nearly as bad in there. It's not nearly as prevalent as you see on the left. In many cases, what's happening in what they call right-wing media, and I probably a great example of that is if you ever read the Free Press. Free Press is probably slightly center left, but because they report the truth they've reported the truth on a number of pretty big issues. They're considered conservative for telling the truth.
Right. The truth is now conservative.
The truth is now conservative. The lie that the left wants you to believe, that happens to be liberal.
Well,
Anyway,
listen, and you listen. There's selfish reasons to do it, and then there's political reasons to do it. Let's take example Pocahontas last week with the video of Preddy getting all the things led up to it. She lies completely through it, and we could have just left that alone and let it stand. But let's go poke the bear a little. Let's make what she did. Because all of her supporters out there need to realize that, and they're not going to believe us because they all suffer from TDS, but you need to expose that. So I call it poking the bear, but it's exposing the lies.
Exactly. Just want to give a couple of quick shout outs. American Crossfire is in the house. Thank you so much for tuning in. Jim Kearney shared a link to CBS News talking about murder rate plummet trends 2025. Want to let you know we talked about that story, I want to say a week or two ago, Mike. But that is a big deal, and sadly they're not giving President Trump credit for it. Why? Because, orange man bad. But anyway, thank you Jim for sharing that. All right, moving right along. Watchdog issues warning about the squad's terrorist ties. Interesting that it took a watchdog group, because does that make us a watchdog group since we too know that they have those quote unquote terrorist ties, Mike?
Woof woof, we're watchdogs.
Woof woof, we're watchdogs. There you go. All right, this being reported over at Fox News. Watchdog releases scathing report on Tlaib's alleged ties to terrorist groups, warning of, quote, potential risks. It says here, a comprehensive new briefing document from a prominent nonpartisan research and policy group is sounding an alarm on, quote, serious ethical and national security concerns related to Democratic Representative Rashida Tlaib and her affiliations with individuals and organizations linked to designated foreign terrorist entities. Quote, the conduct of Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib includes her rhetoric, affiliations, campaign infrastructure, and ideological alignment with certain individuals and organizations, raises serious concerns about potential risks to the ethical and institutional integrity of the United States government. The report released by the Institute for the Study of Global Anti-Semitism and Policies Advocacy and Policy-Oriented States. The report details the recurring pattern of behavior that it says suggests an ideological affinity for radical movements, ranging from participation in conferences featuring convicted terrorists to significant campaign payments made to activists linked to Hamas and Popular Front for Liberation of Palestine aligned networks. The only thing that surprises me at all about this report is that Rashida Tlaib is the only one mentioned in it.
Yeah, I mean, they mentioned the squad, right? But they only mentioned her by name. But it's. I mean, this is like pointing out the obvious, right? She said these things over and over numerous times, and her ties to her the terrorist state or terrorist act groups. She's just. I don't know how. Hey, Craig, if she had been in Congress 50 years ago, they never would have let her take any oath. They would have been like, "What did you say?" No, that's a violation of the Constitution. You're not going to be able to sit in this body.
There you go. Well, the fact that you have folks taking their oath on the Quran, which, by the way, says that it's okay to lie in the furtherance of Islam, then yeah, I don't know. Which, by the way, that's why I wonder, why would you take an oath on something that says it's okay to lie? Maybe that's just me.
Because she's a
Anyway.
Democrat.
Democrat lie. Yeah, pretty much. Well, at least elected Democrat. Not every Democrat lies. Just it depends on if they're elected in elective office or not.
Just the ones that are speaking or writing. Yeah.
Hey, Bob Smith chimed in. He talks about grandpa jokes. So evidently he likes our grandpa jokes.
Gotcha. And is that your real name, Bob Smith? Really? Really?
Actually, it is. It's my son-in-law's father.
Oh, sounds like a grandpa name.
So here's all right. Funny story. So my son, my daughter married into a Smith family, right? Her husband's name is Jordan Smith.
There you
My
go.
son married in, or his wife comes from a Smith family. Her name was Jenna Smith. So we lost to Deleuze and gained a Smith, and we lost to Smith and gained a Deleuze.
Yeah. So you evened out the gene pool. Got it.
And and by the way, both Smith families are not related.
Well, they are, but the same way you and I are related.
Right. There you go. Right, brother?
It's I actually did see a story within the past month that I mean, if you put all the ancestry research into it, you and I are no further apart than 50th cousins. With everyone in the world, we're a 50th cousin, no further than that.
No further than that. Wow. What's up, cuz?
What's up? That's what I'm saying.
What's up, cuz?
That's it.
All right.
So spell my name right in the wheel.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So maybe you can help us, since you and the family and everything, help us pay for this $215 million a mile high-speed rail that we got to pay for here in California.
No, that's on you. That's on you.
That's on you. Look, we ain't that close. Look, we ain't that close. That's right. Politicians or Republican.
Maybe if we were like 48th cousins or something, but not 50th.
Okay. Lawmakers are kind of pissed. They're pissed at Gavin Newsom because Gavin Newsom just did this big groundbreaking, because now they're finally going to start to build a stretch of the high-speed rail that's going to go from, wait for it, Los Angeles to San Francisco. Oh, no. From Merced to Bakersfield.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, that's what everybody's waiting for.
Right. Originally, the whole thing was supposed to cost $33 million. Well, this piece of it, 37 million. This piece right here, in and of itself, is going to cost 33 million. 33, I'm sorry, I said million. Billion. Let me clarify. 33 billion. I said million. What was I thinking? Anyway, the overall, well, let me just read this. Let me just pull the story here up for you. So it says here, furious lawmakers slam Gavin Newsom for trying to bury high-speed rail secrets as $215 million a mile fiasco deepens. Gavin Newsom is desperately trying to keep secret key details of the California's troubled high-speed rail project, now costing taxpayers about $215 million per mile. The California Post has obtained records detailing 58 separate construction projects built over the past 8 years along a 171-mile Central Valley route running between Merced and Bakersfield. Central Valley lawmaker Alexandra Mercado likened the incomplete concrete structures to Stonehenge and said her rural constituents are furious about the waste involved in the project. Quote, what have we gotten for those $15 billion that's been spent? Lots of fancy videos and graphics meant to convince you this is still a viable project, she said. High-speed rail project was initially projected to cost $33 billion and connect Los Angeles to San Francisco when it was approved by voters in November 2008, with full service supposed to begin in the 2020s. Those ambitions have since been widely scaled back as costs balloon. The state is now projecting a reduced Central Valley line between Merced and Bakersfield to open in 2032 at the cost of $36.7 billion. Newsom has already committed an additional $21 billion to that smaller segment alone. Now, maybe it's just me, but if I was promised and I voted on something that was going from one place to another for a certain amount, and I don't get that, what do we call that? What do we call when you don't get what you paid for?
I believe that's fraud.
I believe that would be fraud.
That would be fraud. I believe
That would be fraud. And that's exactly what we've got here is we've got fraud because nobody is like going to say, okay, well, tell you what, I'm going to catch a bus from Los Angeles to Bakersfield. Then I'm going to catch a train from there to Merced. And then I'm going to get on another bus and go from Merced to San Francisco.
Yeah, it's a common path. Everybody takes it every day. It happens all the time. Listen, of all the governments, municipalities, states, local governments that you want, building yourself a new infrastructure system, California is at the bottom of the list. Okay, can we please take the government out of building, commercial items? Right, like Florida's got the new Brightline, and they're not giving me any money to say this, but they built a brand new high-speed rail that covers 250 miles from Orlando to Miami. It's going to be stretching over to Tampa here soon. They did that in like 3 years. They built it all new track, overpasses, everything. It's just amazing piece of work that they did. And in fact, it's the same one that's already broken ground to go from Los Angeles to Vegas. Because guess what? There's money on both ends of that. Not in Merced to Bakersfield, Craig. Although I did see some video of the rail line being built out of Merced, and they've done quite a lot. It starts in Merced and goes about 80 feet down the line. So they've made some progress.
80 feet.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But
they're coming up on 90 soon, yeah.
But dude, you stole my thunder because that's what I was going to say. And the one that's being done from Vegas to LA, it's being privately funded.
Yeah.
Right? It's like if you let the market work, now you can help the market along by, okay, someone has a project and you need to help with the permitting process and make it so that you can get stuff done, then you can do that. You can make it work, but get the government out of the way. That's the only thing government can do when it comes to projects like this. The railways that were built that brought the country together, I mean, that was overwhelmingly funded by private business.
Yeah.
And the government just had to get out of the way. Right. Yeah. It's just let the market do their work.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Gavin Newsom is scared because Gavin Newsom wants to be president. And so he's got to find a way to lie about everything that he's done.
Yep. And he's doing it.
It's really kind of as simple as that.
Yep.
Anyway. Moving right along, you folks may know who Jeanine Pirro is. Maybe you don't. If you watch Fox, you know who she is. Jeanine Pirro is a U.S. attorney in Washington. She's a U.S. attorney based in Washington, D.C. She used to be a Fox News contributor. She's a former judge. She was also a former, I believe, district attorney or attorney general, district attorney. Anyway, she's now back in the news as the left is trying to continue to create a wedge between the gun rights community as well as the Trump administration. And she came out and she basically said anyone who brings a gun to DC should count on going to jail. It says here, U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Jeanine Pirro, on Monday threatened jail time for people who bring firearms into Washington. Quote, I don't care if you have a license in another district. I don't care if you're a law-abiding gun owner somewhere else, Pirro said on Fox News. You bring a gun into this district, count on going to jail. Local laws in D.C. require gun owners to register any firearm with police, and permits from other jurisdictions are not recognized. The nation's capital also bars registration of assault rifles and similar weapons, effectively banning them. But remarks prompted outrage from gun rights advocates and some Republicans, adding to mounting friction between Trump administration and gun owners following the fatal shooting of Minneapolis intensive care nurse and political agitator Alex Preddy. Now, the number one thing that I want to point out from this, folks, is according to the law in Washington, D.C., she's right. What she did was state the law in Washington, D.C. Now, I don't know whether or not, I'm not going to sit here and tell you she agrees with it or not, but she stated the law. Why are people mad at her for stating what the law is there?
Oh, because they think they got her. Gotcha. You're supposed
Right.
to be pro-gun. Gotcha. You know, they think it's a big gotcha there. Listen, she's, like you said, she's much, you compare her to Trump's background. Now, she's born and raised just outside of New York City. I mean, the county over on the west side there, Westchester County. She's it's a huge NYC suburb, but prosecutor, elected district attorney, and then the elected judge for many years. She's a law enforcement person. She's the rule of law is exactly who she is. So that's what she's going to, fall back to. That's why she's, there as the, U.S. district attorney in DC now. Let's remember also the part, and again, mirroring Trump, reality TV host, right? So when you stick a camera in front of her, she's going to say things. Maybe it's 90% right, maybe it's 95% right, but the left's always going to pick off that 5 or 10% and try and point out, gotcha, you right, blah blah, whatever. None of us care. You could point out all day long, and none of us care. We know what she meant.
Well, yes, we do know what she meant, and don't get me wrong, she's, back in the day when she was a district attorney, she did support the assault weapons ban. But my point is that as a U.S. attorney, she is going to institute what the Trump administration tells her to institute. She is going to support the things that the Trump administration tells her to support. And the one thing I will always say about Trump is him and some of the people who work for him may say some wrong things on guns. But I know that when it comes to the things that they do, when provided appropriate direction, correction, and information, they tend to do the right thing.
Listen, without President Trump, without his people, there is no Bruin decision.
Right.
And that takes us back 100 years in gun laws. So
yes.
Sorry, you could say they're anti-gun or you don't like their two-way stance all day long. Like Craig just said, they'll correct that if they make a mistake, but everything they did brought you the gun freedoms you have today.
Yes, they did. So nanny boo-boo.
Yeah.
All right, folks, that now brings us to our parting shots. Parting shots are brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. All caps, no spaces, one word. Get your Hog Holster today. Today, you're going to love this one. Well, you may or may not love it, but I love it because I think that there are a lot of young people right now, a lot of Gen Zers, a lot of Gen Alphas who are waking up, and they tend to be conservative, but they're being raised by some very liberal parents. And I figured we might as well take advantage of the Babylon Bees 10 ways to come out as a conservative to your liberal parents. Let's see here. Number 1, go out on a date with someone of the opposite sex.
Blasphemy.
Blasphemy. Seeing blatant displays of heterosexuality will make it obvious to them. Get a job.
What?
Another child lost to capitalism. Number 3, put up a fat JD Vance poster on your in your bedroom. He's adorable, that chunk, whatever that means. Anyway, take a shower.
Yeah, that's a big one with those kids.
Hygiene on the left they're not known for their hygiene. Start wearing "Don't Tread on Me" flag like a cape around the house. That's pretty subtle. I like that. That one's a pretty subtle one. Call ICE and have your mom and dad deported.
Yeah, I'm down.
Oh, okay. Gently break the news to them that you're going to stay a boy.
Man, hard.
Unless you're a girl, then that you're going to stay a girl.
There you go.
Right. Move out of the basement.
What?
Well, that probably comes with getting a job. Slowly set a medium rare ribeye steak down on a plate of salad mom just served.
There you go. It's a steak salad now.
It's now steak salad. And then douse them with an unknown chemical, put nooses around their necks and shout, "This is MAGA country," because that's what all of us in MAGA country do.
That's it. Yeah, this is also called the Alex P. Keaton techniques, just so you're clear. Yeah.
Alex P. Keaton techniques.
Yeah.
I wonder how many of the folks out there know who Alex P. Keaton is.
Our age. That's who knows.
People our age. That's pretty much about it. No, I wonder how much that had to hurt. That had to hurt Michael J. Fox to play Alex P. Keaton.
The stories I've read on it is that I mean it's what propelled him. It's what got him where he is, and he's a pretty conservative guy, So
Is he? I always thought,
Yeah.
I don't know why. I always had in my head he was a liberal.
if he is, he's a mouth shut liberal, and that's the best kind.
There you go. There you go. Just shut up and act. Which I wish. I don't care if you're conservative or liberal. I don't want to know your politics because I don't want you to mess it up. I'm watching Landman with
Billy Bob.
with Billy Bob and Elliot, Sam Elliott. And Sam Elliott, I gotta lie, his coming out for Kamala just really soured me on him. I'll still watch his. He's one of the few people that have come out liberal. I'll still watch his stuff because he hasn't really come out and made many comments. He just did that one commercial and then left it alone.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think his was more of it was a bad man orange thing for him. He didn't like that Trump wasn't presidential. Not his policies, nothing to do with his policies.
yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you don't think Trump is presidential and you don't like that about him, that's okay. That is 100% okay. You're not alone.
Yeah.
Like I said, I weigh the good against the bad, and the good far outweighs the bad in my eyes.
So if you're one of those conservatives out there and you don't like Trump because if you don't like his presidential politics, that just means we're going to watch the poll numbers go up as JD or Marco Rubio run for president next term.
There you go. There you go. I 100% agree with you right there. All right, folks, that brings us to the end of our program. But before we go, we're going to give one more quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yep, Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Get over there, get yourself some AR barrels, rifle caliber, pistol caliber, any length you desire. They got them all for you at hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly, fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. You want the best in field gear, tactical gear, web gear, law enforcement, security, fire, EMS, Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, probably got it too. Get your group together, get your agency together, place an order at uscombatgear.com where you can get everything except the gun.
That's right, folks. Once again, please take a moment, visit our sponsors by following the links in the description to this program. That's going to be it for today's show. We will be back tomorrow on Free for All Friday. Till then, y'all have fun, stay safe, and we will see y'all mañana.